you.
Nice to meet you. Ronda, my next question is for you. It's not every day you get to...
Wait, what was it?
Quick, sorry. So, the videos for you. My question, as the best Latina athlete in the world, like what, experience or advice you have for other Latinas that might be in the room that aren't just fighters, but are that, studying nurses or lawyers or upcoming in the world, they're trying to make an impact as well outside of fighting. What advice do you have for them to get out there?
I think there's no role that you're supposed to fill. Whatever role you want is the one you should take. He's like, got thumbs up, he's gone.
Hey, thanks for being here today. Hi, Dana and ladies.
Hi.
First of all, my name is Ryan from The Gathering. The UFC was honored as one of the best brands in the world alongside GoPro and Red Bull and Disney, so kudos for that.
Thank you.
Amazing. You've broke the barriers, women, men, that's great. Maybe to the ladies, what do you think about going into countries, because Dana, you talk about it being a global sport, where countries that don't even allow women to be anything. Do you see it breaking the barriers there?
Yeah, I mean...
We were talking about that on the plane.
We were, actually, and I already traveled all over the world doing judo, so traveling to some on the other side of the world and competing is something that I'm used to and would always be open to. And yeah, I think doing it somewhere where women do not have equal rights and things like that, and having a women's event there and have it be celebrated and being embraced by that kind of a culture would make a huge positive change.
For any of you that don't know, last season of The Ultimate Fighter, where we did the 115-pound title, there's a fighter, her name is Ronda Marcos. If you've ever heard of her, if you haven't, check her out. She grew up in Iran, and her story is insane. It's crazy. The things that she's overcome, and now she's a professional fighter, and what an amazing story.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
My name is John Thomas from Tap Cancer Out, a jiu-jitsu nonprofit, also from Boston. Go Pats.
My man. All right.
There's no question that getting into MMA, whether you're a male or a female, is daunting. Just walk into an MMA gym, it looks pretty intimidating, even though in reality it's a very welcoming community. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 6 years, and we have a female in there, 15-year-old blue belt, that gives me fits. She's one of the best wrestlers on her team in high school, of course, the only girl. What do you think the role of other sports like jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai play in helping sort of filter girls into the UFC and sort of being a less daunting step into?
Yeah, no, it's all the martial arts. You know, it's funny because when you're a kid, whether you're a boy or a girl, you know, you go through a lot of things growing up, whether, you know, it's your home life or at school or whatever it might be. And people don't realize how getting involved in these combat sports can change somebody's life when we're talking about confidence, self-esteem, you know, and believing in yourself. And especially a lot of these girls these days, and I see it so much with these girls that are training, to be in there with the boys and to be as good as the boys. And the beautiful thing about judo and jiu-jitsu and things like that is it's not about strength, it's about technique. If you have the technique down, a girl will catch a guy and tap him out, you know, as many times as a boy will. So I love the fact. And then as far as self-defense goes, probably the best thing you could teach your little girl is jiu-jitsu, in my opinion.
It's true. When we were in LA, we went to USC and we were helping the girls dance team on self-defense. And one of the biggest things was teaching them how to get someone off of them, on top of them, because that's going to be the number one thing. If a female's getting attacked, a man's going to overpower by getting on top of her and holding her down. So one of the things that we worked on was teaching them how to move them, and not by strength, but by positioning and how to use their body and use their weight for it.
And choke them unconscious.
Yeah. Or kick them where it hurts.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Claressa Shields. I won the Olympics 2012 for women's boxing.
Excellent.
Wow, way to go.
I'm a huge fan of Ronda. She gave me a shout out on Instagram.
Oh yeah, you're a badass. I remember watching your stuff. So cool.
Thank you. And Dana, oh my God, I wish men in boxing would just wake up. I really do. I wanted to ask, Ronda. So I'm getting ready for 2016 Olympics. I already won a gold medal 2012.
Right.
I want to ask you, how do you stay motivated? That's my question, because it's like, I won already. I just won the world championships. My record is 54-1.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay motivated?
I mean, that's amazing.
I'm going through the same thing.
Yeah, I think I read this quote a while ago. I thought it was amazing. It said, dissatisfaction with success is one of the requisites of further success. And you just have to, what you've done is amazing, but it has to be not quite good enough for you.
Yes.
It could be good enough for everybody else. Oh my God, I would die just to get as far as you've gotten at this point. But where you're at this point still has to not be good enough for you, and you want to get to a further point. And I had the experience of going to the Olympics and not winning. And so I always have that in my head where I didn't get the gold. And I keep trying to make up for it over and over and over every time I fight for the belt. So you already have the gold. So maybe you want to set a record that nobody else will be able to break before. Maybe there will be another girl that wins the gold after you. But maybe there won't be one that wins 2. And so maybe winning 2 gold medals and holding that record for a long, long time and having a legacy like that could be a new goal.
Thank you. But then with that, my other question is, well, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm not going to win another Olympic gold medal. So I'm already claiming that.
Yeah.
That's already taken. But it's like, just like you said, when you had, put so much time into going to 2 Olympics and, getting your medal, and then you're like, what else? You put so much time in, and nobody has opened up women's boxing,
Right. She was driving a Honda Accord with 1 window and no air conditioning.
Right.
So here's the thing. You know what? Obviously, you see what Al Heyman is doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Al Heyman is throwing a lot of respect what this guy's doing for the sport of boxing, because guys like Bob Arum definitely weren't doing it. They just pull money out of the sport and never invested back into it. Al Heyman is investing in the sport, and you should probably reach out to them. You should reach out to Al Heyman, and they got a lot of cards to fill, and it's not easy. It's not easy, expanding and doing all these fights. There's only so many fighters, and they can only fight so many times a year. But that guy's given a lot of opportunity to a lot of people, and maybe you need to reach out to that group and sit down and have the Ronda Rousey conversation with him that she had with me.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You're very welcome.
Hello, my name is Desiree Castillo. I recently turned 15, and I am part of a media project that covers South by Southwest here in Austin. And I was curious as to if either Jessica or Ronda have ever doubted their career choice due to negative stigma or stereotyping.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I started, my first fight was in 2008. It was 6, 7, and 8, and I was fighting in this local promotion out of Ohio, and there was no women's MMA. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, you walked into an MMA gym, they think you're fishing for a guy. They think you're trying to find a boyfriend. So me, I was like, I don't need a boyfriend in the gym. I can find it wherever I want. These little walls don't have what I need. So for me, it was the doubt is what inspired me. I started Tagline many, many years ago, and it was I Believe. And I Believe was applied to anybody, because as long as you believe in yourself and you know that you have a purpose and you continue with it, nothing can stand in the way of that. You have to believe in yourself 100%. You have to know that you have your own purpose, that you are the purpose for something bigger and better.
It's funny, I was actually just telling Jessica this right before we came out here, but I have this thing called 2-weekitis. Like at 2 weeks before a fight is when I get my most nervous, most emotional, and most like, And always at that 2-week point, I always ask myself, I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why? Do I have to? And then always the point after the fight, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. This is awesome. I'm the best in the world. That's why. I was so good. But yeah, just because you question yourself doesn't mean that you shouldn't be there. I question myself sometimes. Always at 2 weeks out, you should know that I'm probably in bed crying. Be like, why do I do it again? And yeah, it's just getting past that point is, on the other side, it's always success I've experienced.
There's always going to be doubt. No matter what you do in life, there's always going to be a chance. It's always going to be there no matter what. But you have to be bigger than it, and you have to believe that you're bigger than it. And then the doubt goes away. All of that just subsides, and then you're successful.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Those were great questions. Great questions. Okay. My name is Misa. I'm from Austin. I'm a B-girl, a female breakdancer. I've been breakdancing for 10 years and actually part of Femme Fatale. We're Texas's only B-girl crew. And so this is actually for Jessica and Ronda. Dana, you shh. Okay. Over the last 10 years, B-girls have really come up and they've started beating B-boys. And I've watched that progression. And to me, it's never been amazing. Like how people say that, like, it's amazing that these women are fighting and they're excelling and they're doing these things and they're coming up. And to me, as like an athlete, it's never been amazing. It's just been amazing that there's a platform for it and that we're now given the opportunity to battle the opposite sex. And I'm sure that you hear this a lot in interviews where they're kind of like, this is so great, you're trailblazers, and you are. But do you see yourself truly, and do you feel truly that it's amazing that you're females that are fighting and you're really good at combat sports? Or do you all feel the amazement truly lies in more that society and that the sport is opening up to offer females the same equal platform?
Well, everyone has an instinct to fight. It's something human.
Yes.
It's not something invented. It's not amazing that women could fight. Think about it. Women have the most powerful protective instinct out there. Women are hardwired to fight more than men are when it really matters. And no, it's not amazing that women can fight. You know, it is amazing that we are given a venue now. And I will be even more amazed when we don't have to see any more W's. You know, why is it called WMMA? I don't see any MMMA. Right? Really, why isn't it called men's mixed martial arts? Eventually it'll just be mixed martial arts. I don't want to see any more W's. Then I'll be amazed.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Kuntz. I'm here representing the three Les Bros here in Austin. Woo! Yeah. Three of us that started watching MMA many, many years ago before the women were allowed to start fighting. And
all of them?
We've been fans ever since. We took the pilgrimage to see you fight Misha, and the night Silva cracked his leg. And life has been so much better ever since you showed up, Ronda. I want to say that because I do have a question that might seem a little more controversial or maybe just not as much as love affair. I love you. But I did want to say I'm a therapist with transgender folks here in Austin, so I wanted to talk about a little bit about the Fallon Fox controversy. I know that, you know, we know Dana said never would there be women fighting, and feels like that was wrong and maybe a hastily said thing. And I know a lot of things have been said about Fallon Fox and about bone structure. I would put my own bone structure and jaw up against anyone's. But I really feel like my main question is, you said puberty gave her an advantage, but my opinion is that having a mom wake you up every morning saying, armbar, gives you an advantage more than that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I really researched the subject a lot. I didn't want to be uneducated on it before I did it. And everything that I read said that if you're identified, if you're found to be, if you identify as a woman before you hit puberty, and they can put you on medication, to postpone your puberty until after you're 18, and then you can make the decision to get the operation. I think that would be entirely fair. I mean, from what I read medically, it said that if you've already gone through puberty as a man and then you go through surgery and everything and hormone therapy and all of that, it still is a physical difference that would be considered an advantage. But if you don't, then there isn't. And I think it's one of those things where it has to be taken by a case-by-case basis. And if you think that you have gone through puberty as a man but have undergone everything and you are a woman, I think that you should probably have a doctor or an expert. You could appeal that rule, and I think every single person should be looked at as an individual, and if you appeal it and have doctors and everything sign off as saying, okay, there is no unfair advantage because of these things and these factors, then yeah, case by case, I think it would be acceptable. But I can't make, from what I've read, generally, if you've undergone your surgery after puberty, there is a physical difference. And yes, I've had environmental advantages, but that's something that I've had a lot of disadvantages as well. And I could also say that, okay, I mean, I don't want to go through a sob story or anything, but I think I've had as many environmental advantages as disadvantages. And the thing is, I decided to discard the things that would pull me down. And,
Certainly you wouldn't back down from a fight from Fallon Fox, so if you fight Cowboy, right?
No, I definitely would. I wouldn't back down. It's just that
there's a lot of hatred coming her way, and I just feel really protected.
I don't think that she deserves any hatred, but I think that if she has an unfair physical advantage, she shouldn't be able to hurt another girl with it.
And I don't think she does. I think it's an education thing. It's that's a tough one. That's a tough one. It's tough because if we talk about Ronda fighting men all the time, but the reality is Ronda's never going to fight a man ever. It's never going to happen. Not with me anyway. God knows what she's going to do on her own, but with our organization, she'll never fight a man. And it's one of those things where I think a lot of people feel if you were born a man, you can do whatever you want with your life. It's that there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to compete in sports, and especially a combat sport, where you're going to go in and physically, have unarmed combat with a woman, probably better to be two women for their whole life, born as a woman.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. I live here in Austin. Dana, I love everything you've done with UFC. I think it's one of the most exhilarating things to watch both in person and on TV.
Thank you.
My question is for Ronda. Ronda, I was at Staples Center a couple weeks ago where I saw you perform a perfectly executed inverted armbar in just 14 seconds. There's no doubt that you're not only a badass, but a trailblazer in the field of women's fighting. Do you think if the opportunity arises, would you say that you would fight in the men's division?
Well, I think he just answered that. I just don't think that there should ever be a venue where we're celebrating a man hitting a woman.
No, ever.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is James. Just wanted to say thanks so much for coming. You guys rock.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are the main event of South by. This is what I was looking forward to most. Now, I don't want to sound presumptuous, but I feel like I could speak for the majority of this room and say that Austin loves the UFC.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas loves the UFC, man. Texas has been good to us.
We all love them. So I hate to put you on the spot, Mr. White, but I have to ask, when are you guys coming back to Austin?
Yeah, we were just here, weren't we, not too long ago? We were just here.
Just in November. We want you back.
Yeah. Listen, the world's a big place. We'll be back here. We were just here recently. I think the next, I didn't even leave Dallas yet, and people are asking when we're coming back to Dallas. But I think the next place, we'll either end up in Houston, San Antonio, and then we'll eventually get back here to Austin. We love coming down here. It's always super successful down here. The people in Texas are great. I love doing fights in Texas. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.